Alright, so how do you feel, Kayleen? We haven't done.
Today we will show you a killer who vlogs his murders. In a video, the Camp Keller murderer attempted to defend his actions. So before we move deep into today's video, make sure you hit the subscribe button and give a thumbs up right away. Let's get started. An audio recording that the North Bend man had made outlining his strategy for the end was discovered by deputies searching the bunker on Rattlesnake Ridge that was constructed by survivalist Peter Keller, who murdered his wife and 18-year-old daughter in April. His digressions attempted to defend his behavior by discussing how he would carry out his crimes in a spooky, serious manner. Among his arsenal of guns and ammunition, homemade explosives, and bulletproof vest, Keller stored the recording. Keller stated, "It's just going to be a point of, go as far as I can," while pointing the digital recorder in his direction. "I can always shoot myself in death, so that's my escape route, and that's fine with me. It just worries me out to attempt to live, pay my expenses, live like a civilian, and go to work at this point. To be honest, I find it more comfortable to imagine myself living here and robbing pharmacies and banks, taking anything I want for as long as I can." After a few weeks, he said, "At least it will be exciting," adding that he wouldn't have to worry about his wife or daughter, whom he had killed. Since lead detective Robin Cleary can demonstrate that Keller was the murderer and the investigation is complete, deputies stated the video would be made public on Thursday. Investigators also displayed dozens of photos that reveal more detailed information about Keller's bunker. At one moment on video, Keller admitted that he had once believed his own acts to be insane. "And then I'd think about it, and it would make sense," he replied. "And it's like, okay, this is what I gotta do." His 2003 notebook drawings depict the interior of the bunker and include notes made by Keller regarding his desire for a laboratory to study viruses. The insane 41-year-old had recorded his work transferring water from a local creek using PVC pipes to the bunker. Larger logs were pulled into position using a rope and pulley system. He even had a wood-burning furnace and an intricate cement foundation in his bunker. One of the several digital photos that investigators discovered in Keller's house images that he intended to set on fire helped them locate the bunker by displaying power wires and the North Bend outlet store. The Keller home's unlocked safe held those crucial photos, which firefighters were able to get thanks to a neighbor's prompt 911 call. The neighbors, those who provided information about Peter Keller's red truck, and the deputies who prevented more deaths were thanked on Thursday by the relatives of Lynette and Kayleen Keller. They talked about a scholarship fund that was set up in honor of their relatives as well. As Kayleen had desired, the scholarship will be used to assist students who wish to attend DigiPenn Institute of Technology in Redmond, Washington, thanks to the Seattle Foundation. Tens of thousands of dollars discovered in bundles in Peter Keller's forest bunker are anticipated to contribute to the scholarship fund in part. Peter Keller thought the world was about to end. Having spent 8 years building the intricate bunker he named Camp Keller and equipping it with weapons and explosives, he was prepared for anything. Keller killed his wife and kid and set their house on fire before making one more trip to his mountain redoubt to engage in a police standoff. The reason behind his killings of people closest to him remains a mystery to investigators, but case files provide some insight into his bizarre life, which came to an end on April 27 when police encircled him. Peter Keller's 19-year-old daughter told her boyfriend that her father was constructing Camp Keller in anticipation of the end of the world just 2 weeks before to the killings and arson on April 22. It is thought that neither Keller's co-workers nor his immediate family knew the precise position of the image, even though they had seen at least one. According to investigation records, Keller was so tight-lipped and domineering with his finances that his crippled wife was forced to take out loans from relatives. Deputies said that her sole reliable source of income was a state disability pension she received following an injury at work several years prior. Camp Keller included multiple powerful weapons, Ziploc-sealed ammunition cases, ferns, and branches for camouflage. It was run by a generator, but Keller, who carried body armor and a scope as well, refrained from using his arsenal of powerful firearms against deputies. After a nearly day-long standoff, the 41-year-old committed suicide inside the bunker with a pistol. He was discovered on April 28. According to an autopsy, he had shot himself the night before. Firefighters were called to Keller's residence in the 47,200 block of Southeast 159th Street in North Bend at 8:45 a.m. on April 22. when crews discovered 7 gas cans on the ground with the front door blocked by furniture and stereo equipment. They quickly suspected arson. After the arson, Keller was instantly suspected, and the day his wife and daughter were discovered dead, police set out to obtain his phone records. Additionally, those phone data assisted in focusing the search for Camp Keller. Peter Keller had not touched his phone since April 20, at 8:47 p.m. about 7 miles from Camp Keller. That call was picked up by a cell tower close to the 6800 block of Lake Alice Road Southeast. Neither Keller's father, who hadn't communicated with his son since November 2011, nor Peter Keller's colleagues at Solar Systems in Preston, had any information that could direct investigators. The boyfriend of his daughter also admitted to them that he had no idea why the murders had occurred. Lynette Keller, the wife of Peter Keller, was a dedicated scrapbooker who frequently stayed at home and made films for the hobby on YouTube. She was born in California, attended Aloha High School in Oregon in 1989, and made her living selling crafts at fairs and online. According to inquiry documents, Peter Keller was controlling with household funds in many bank accounts, so his wife would occasionally ask her father or stepfather to cover certain bills. According to sheriff's records, Keller had previously informed family members that Peter had amassed a fairly sizable financial savings and that she thought they would probably become billionaires when he retired. Although they weren't directed where to look for it, it's thought that Lynette Keller and her daughter spotted a picture of Camp Keller, though it's unclear exactly when they did. According to deputies, Peter Keller was a recluse who would frequently leave Camp Keller at around 10 a.m. on the weekends and arrive home at about 4 p.m. On the day of the arson, shortly after 1 p.m., a King County Superior Court judge granted a telephone search warrant, and police examined the residence at roughly the same time that a medical examiner examined his deceased family members. Lynette Keller had a spent bullet casing in her hair. Investigators said that when her daughter, Kayleen, spoke to her boyfriend on April 21, everything appeared to be going ok. Cell phone records indicate that Lynette Keller last made use of her phone at or close to her residence on April 21, 1 hour prior to her and Kayleen's deaths there. Following the first fire, smoldering combustibles flared up again, and Eastside fire and rescue teams were called to the North Bend residence twice before the detectives searched and doused the interior. Nevertheless, a number of gadgets that were retrieved by the detectives aided in the hunt for Keller: a Hewlett-Packard laptop, a Seagate laptop hard drive, a desktop computer tower, a Sprint mobile phone that was allegedly owned by Keller's daughter, 21 media discs, an Xbox 360 console, and a USB-powered Western Digital external hard drive were all taken by detectives. There were gun cases and ammo visible to the investigators, but no actual guns. Peter Keller showed his boyfriend his AR-15, handguns, and large-caliber rifles, according to inquiry records. After searching the Keller residence the day after the arson, deputies returned on April 24 after seeing an irregular hourglass-shaped border, an outbuilding, and several wooden buildings covered in tarp that had not been checked out. In order to locate Peter Keller and Camp Keller, deputies studied cell tower data and phone records from 3 months prior. His bunker at Rattlesnake Ridge had binoculars, ammunition stacks, propane tanks, gas cans, and over a dozen firearms. Tracers utilizing Keller's laptop photos and hikers who saw his red 1994 Toyota pickup at Rattlesnake Ridge trailhead helped find the vehicle. 2 deputies posed as residents visiting Rattlesnake Ridge for a day to avoid Keller's attention and find clues. Off-trail prints from military boots and smoke from the Camp Keller wood stove were visible. SWAT teams watched the bunker lights flicker on and off on Friday night. The cliff was too shallow, or Keller wore a gas mask, so tear gas couldn't push him out. He was accused of destroying his North Bend home and killing his wife and children. Keller stole $6,200 from a bank account and warned a co-worker he might not return before the murders. At 7:34 a.m. on April 27, Cindy West advised Seattle media not to publicize the search site, immediately south of Interstate 90 at exit 27, owing to worries that Keller may have a radio or scanner. West praised the same news sites on Saturday night for not endangering SWAT personnel after 8 hours of confidentiality. Camp Keller returned to King County Parks after investigators cleared it. Lynette and Kayleen Keller's family memorial ceremony was on May 5. After graduating from Mount Si High School, Kayleen Keller was a student at Bellevue Community College. She had been seeing her boyfriend for around 1 year. He admitted to authorities that he didn't speak with her father much despite spending several days a week at the Keller residence. That's pretty much it for today. Let us know your thoughts regarding this creepy murderer in the comments. Share and subscribe for more updates. Goodbye.